welcome back. You can call in and ask some questions concerning noise pollution and hearing loss. The number to call is 0808-054-2233. That's 0808-054-2233. And of course, you can tweet at CTV_Mary A. Before the break, we were talking about reversible hearing losses. So what are those?
Well, what I call reversible, it depends on the level of the damage done on the cochlear ear cells. So, and then usually what it is that once it has been a long period of time, that means when it has become, so that if you have been turned to reverse, because the cochlear ear cells we have been damaged. So once they have damaged,
how do they damage? Does it tear?
No, it doesn't respond to sound anymore.
Okay.
It loses that function, so that any sound that comes in, there will be no response. So when you call it something, so when we have seen this type of things, so better always ask the patient maybe to do a test for maybe the hearing test, and if there is still no response, we can still go further to advise the patient to be using hearing aid, or if the hearing aid is still not possible, there is what we call a cochlear implant.
Now this hearing problem due to noise, does it cause, should I call them auditory hallucinations? Like people think they are hearing something, but they're not really hearing something. You'll answer that shortly. Let's take this call from Afolabi in Lagos. Hello, Afolabi.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Afolabi. What's your question?
Okay, I have a quick question for you. How does hearing problems have to do with these dizzy spells, whereby you get up and you're staggering, things like that? Does it have to do with an hearing problem?
Thank you so much, Afolabi. Does it cause dizzy spells?
Well, occasionally it causes. But dizzy spell on its own is another type of diseases on its own that is related to the inner ear.
Okay.
So, but when you have exposed to a long period of sound, it can cause what you call hearing loss associated with tinnitus. When you can hear a sound in the ear, and also it can lead to fatigue. It can lead at times also you can have that type of vertigo, a form of that I said.
You feel a bit dizzy.
You feel a bit dizzy. So usually we always exclude each other. But when you talk about that vertigo that you are talking about, it's just something that a patient will just wake up from the bed in the morning, you just see the whole room spinning.
Is that maybe due to the suddenness of the standing up?
No, it can't be due to the suddenness. It's due to what we call an imbalance. We call it vertical cochlear imbalance.
Okay, it's a problem of the cochlear itself.
It's a problem of the cochlear, the whole of the.
Now, this tinnitus, is it a sound that exists or is an imaginary sound?
No, there are two types. There is one that really exists, that the only patient will be hearing. There is another one that sound also, maybe the patient will be hearing the sound of the blood flows inside the ear. But the main thing that is mainly really is associated with the hearing loss when part of the blood vessels, they are becoming, because of the vasoconstriction that the noise causes, it makes the walls a little bit thinner, and once the blood is passing through,
it's like it's roaring through
the air.
Oh, okay. Now you mentioned if I got you right, the sound is actually amplified in the ear. So it's loud already, and the ear now multiplies it, which can be dangerous.
It can be dangerous to the cochlear.
Tell us exactly what happens in the ear when the sound is too loud. Perhaps when you have that pain, it's so loud, there's pain in the ear. What's happening
when
there?
It's too loud, you can have what you call this acoustic shock. That one is more common with those people working in the call center. You just receive a shock in your ear that you just remove the ear set. Maybe you can feel a form of dizziness. We call it a form of yours. At times, just like when when somebody is speaking on the speaker, and you are hearing with your normal ear, it's just a form of a boom into your ear, as form of a shock. And at the same time, also, the cochlear cell, the target cell inside the inner ear also is affected. It's a form of, it's traumatized. So, and that period, and if also it depends if it's on a prolongation of that type of sound, so it can affect the hearing.
Sorry to cut you there. Let's take this call. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. What's your question? That's
yes,
Samuel.
I'm Samuel, yeah. If a man gets into someone's ear, how does one get it outside and if he gets stuck? The residue, how do you...
Residue of what? Did you hear that? If what gets into someone's ear?
Yes, an ant into someone's ear.
Oh, an ant.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
If you have an insect in your ear, that always happens, what best you should do, just look for olive oil, put it inside the ear, the ant or that insect is going to die. And then you can just come to the hospital, that they will just be able to flush it out.
They should not attempt to take it out themselves.
They should not attempt to take it out. If the insect is still living, because it will cause a lot of noise in the air when the insect wants to try, but just damp the air with a lot of olive oil. Within 5 or 10 minutes, that insect is going to die.
And then you go to the hospital.
Then you go to the hospital for.
Now, when we're discussing our sources of noise, I noticed that some noises come from outside the home. Then some noises are within the home, like the TV, the refrigerator,
the generator,
or maybe even children shouting in the house. Now, I expect that maybe in a factory, the owners of the factory will have some sort of standard about ear protection. Whether they use them, I don't know. But in the home, there's noise, or there's a party next door. They do that a lot, and your sleep is disturbed. What can a person do to reduce the effect of noise, so that one can sleep or something?
No, we thank God for this medium. It's a form of a medium of awareness for everybody to know. Because what we do, we have to know that it's affecting our neighbor or not. So there's just no need to put a very loud speaker in the street affecting affecting your neighbor. We have to be neighbor friendly, and at the same time we have to adapt the level of acoustic engineering that we have in science of acoustic that can reduce the sound level of the environment. Though, because if you want, that's where a lot of churches and a lot of mosques we have that type of problem. But consider that it's you that you have gone to work for a very long time. You just want to have 4 or 6 hours so that to rejuvenate, and somebody is disturbing you. That person going back to work the next day is not a normal person. So everything we do, let's be neighbor friendly. Let's consider our neighbor.
Okay,
first.
We need to take a short break now. Let's go on a really short break. When we come back, the last bit of the program, please stay with us.